For almost 40 years of my life, I thought I knew what I wanted. I thought I was going after fame and fortune and success and recognition and all of those things. And then all of a sudden, the COVID lockdown hit and I couldn't get out and perform. I couldn't make money, nothing. Everything stopped. Yet each day, I still kept getting up and I still kept being creative right here in my studio. And that is when I realized that I kind of had been wrong about everything. For me to kind of explain the thing that broke everything wide open, I first need to tell you a little bit about myself. Now, I have been a creative person my entire life. When I was younger, I did artwork. My parents owned their own arts and crafts store. I did all kinds of drawing and everything you can imagine. I had drawings in the school yearbook and the school paper. I did a lot of photography and I had a lot of pictures in the school paper, all kinds of stuff like that. After high school, I got into dancing and learned that I was pretty good at it. I joined a dance company and I started entering dance competitions and got a chance to do TV commercials, dancing and everything like that. There came a point where I felt the dancing was kind of two-dimensional, so I wanted to become a vocal performer. And I'd kind of always been working with music and DJing along with that. And so I started to put together albums and songs, and I got the chance to go out and perform and travel around the country and do that. And then I came to a point in life where I was kind of aging out of doing that as being, a person in older years performing like dance music and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to move on, and that's when I kind of embraced DJing a lot more. And I even got a chance to work with a company called Disc Jockey News to be one of their reporters, and I got to travel around to DJ expos all over the country, and I got to DJ on the showroom floor for brands that I used and do videos for software that I used and got all kinds of stuff in all of that. And I built that all up, and I thought that this is where I was going to go with all of this. And then COVID hit. When the lockdown happened, everything stopped, and it just stopped everything. I no longer had shows to go out and do. I wasn't making any money. The world, as everyone knew it, stopped. But yet each day I kept getting up, getting dressed, coming down here to my little studio and being creative. I kind of doubled down on the stuff for Disc Jockey News. I started doing more videos for them. I was streaming on Twitch twice a week doing live DJ sets. And I just wanted to continue to be creative. My goal was, when I came out of COVID, to be further ahead than when I started. I had time to use then, like everybody did, and I was going to try to use it to the best of my ability to do the most I could with. And then I had an epiphany. The epiphany was quite simple. I was watching a show called Making It. It was with the two hosts, Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman. And on this show, they were crafters and creators and makers that made things. And the whole show was about building these things and themes and whatnot. And you advanced each week and people got eliminated. You know how these reality shows go. But something caught my eye that threw me off. Every time a person on that show finished working on their project, they didn't just stop and walk away and leave everybody else there working on their projects. Everybody stopped when they were done with theirs and went and helped somebody else on their project. They weren't about winning, they were about being creative. And that's when I realized that the creativity was my why I was chasing fame and fortune, why I was trying to be successful, why I was doing all of this. I was simply looking for an opportunity to be creative every day. That's why I think I liked the COVID lockdown, because even though I'll be the first to admit, I did not want to take government money, but being able to pay my bills and still be creative, that was the life for me. That's what I wanted. And that's where a lot of this comes to the point where I want to share with you. When that realization happened, I started writing stuff down. I started writing about all the things in my life that I had been creative through, all the stuff that I told you about at the beginning, and how things from one area taught me how to do things for another area, and how that all just kind of molded together. And I wrote a book called The Creative Virus, and it's basically built around that, during the coronavirus, a virus is something that writes a set of instructions to a cell. And I kind of felt that as being a creative person is that I had that creativity in me and I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't shut it off. I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't do anything. It was a part of me, and it was like a good virus. It was a good set of instructions. And I wrote the book, The Creative Virus, and I think that it can help some of you guys. Now, you might not be a creative person. You might be an entrepreneur, or something like that. But I think you understand what I'm talking about when you have this drive to do something that is deep down inside, further than the actions, further than the rewards. I want to encourage you to embrace all of that and embrace that in your everyday life like I did. There was a lot that I did and a lot that is similar to what you want to do. And I want that to be an encouragement to you. What I learned freed me to be creative. It took me away from success is my reward, money is my reward, fame is my reward. It took me away from that. No, I haven't stopped trying to work towards things. No, I haven't stopped trying to make money at things. No, I haven't stopped trying to be successful at things. But my first thing on all of these things is to be creative, to get to be creative, figure out what I can do to be creative each and every day. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to find that thing. The creativeness was the fire that burnt underneath everything else that kept it going. When the surface fires of success went out, when the surface fires of fame went out, I still had a fire burning underneath, and that was creativity. And I encourage you to find that too. And that's what I want this whole video to be about, is to encourage you to find what that lower flame is. Now, my book is out there. If you want to check it out, you can get it anywhere you buy books. There's also audiobook versions of it out there and everything. But most importantly, if you have any questions about the journey I went through, or you too have experienced something like this, I want you to share it with me in the comments below. I want you to tell other people about the journey you went on, what you realized, or if this or my book helped you on the journey of trying to create this. Because this life that I've started to build, I made up a little quote a while back that said, I want to help others to create a life that they love to live in and don't need a vacation from. And that's the way I look at my life, that if I didn't need to make money, if I was on permanent vacation, I would do a lot of the things that I'm doing right now. The creative stuff, the stuff at my computer, this taking photos that I do, all of these things would be stuff that I would be doing every day. And I can honestly tell you, these are the things that I enjoy. And I know there's a lot more to life than that. I know some of you are saying family and all these things and that, and I'm not going to argue with any of that. But I want to talk from this point in the stuff that I experience, and I want to encourage you to try to find that flame underneath. So if other things in your life go away, you still have that. And that's what I'm encouraged with you today. Again, as always, I hope this video helps you. Until next time, take care and God bless. This video is sponsored by immj. For all my print-on-demand creations like t-shirts, mugs, posters, original photos, my book, The Creative Virus, or what gear I use, visit the shops on immj.com or my Amazon, eBay, or Etsy stores.